So, hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. We're very excited to be here. I will apologize because I feel like it's really obvious. My chest is very shiny. I feel like when male strippers
I don't think anybody would have noticed.
So I see it. I can just got my light reflecting back at me.
For all of you watching, even when she logged on with me, she's like, "My chest is shiny." I was like, "Okay."
I just feel insecure, so I have to acknowledge what I feel like is an elephant in the room.
No, that's a good technique. That gets rid of your anxiety. But I don't think anybody would be worried. Who knows? Somebody would have emailed us. What's wrong with her chest?
I know. I just feel like I look like a stripper.
Like a male stripper.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Why did you say male, by the way?
No, because I've never seen a woman stripper oiled up like that. I've only seen male strippers.
You haven't been in a female strip club.
I'm not a connoisseur in strippers by any means. Maybe we should rewind. Okay. Welcome.
Hey, what do you have against strippers?
Nothing. Funny story. This is totally off topic.
You were a stripper?
No. I wish I had a body to be a stripper.
You do. You totally do.
It wasn't 21st because I don't think I could go to the bars yet. I think I was my maybe 18th birthday. We had a house party at my house and my mom knew. I probably shouldn't say that. She won't be so mad at me. But she fully knew and supported and knew I was going to have people over, whatever. And it was, so we had, for 6 girls, we had a male stripper come. And then after we were so grossed out and he left. And then we had a girl stripper come. And by the time the poor girl stripper came, there was probably 40 people in my house. And I was like, because you remember back in the day, you have a house party before social media even. People just show up and you're like.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's my experience with strippers.
The poor girl.
Yes. I felt even at the age of 17 and being aware of, not aware, but I was like, oh my God, this poor girl is probably she didn't let on that she was uncomfortable, but it was awkward, I feel like.
I can't imagine just going into a room and starting to dance and take your clothes off. Those women are badass in my opinion.
I could never do it.
Jeez Louise. Okay.
I have something I wanted to tell you because you're usually the astrology guru, you know everything, and I'm just here on the edge of my seat, listening intently. But I did find this guy when I was doing some research. I was reading some news articles, and I think it's really interesting. And we're not going to talk about COVID, but it does touch on it in just a minute. Okay. So this guy, Nicholas, I don't know how to say his last name. It's Aujula. How do you say that? Adula.
Yeah, me.
I don't know. So he's a 35-year-old guy from London, and he says he is a past life regression therapist, a hypnotherapist, and a psychic astrologer. Okay?
Whoa.
And yeah, I know. And so he says in 2018, he predicted an influenza-type disaster that would dominate the world. COVID. Okay. Interesting. And then he goes on to say that he predicts that it will be plateauing after the new year within, and then reaching under control levels by the spring, which really makes sense because, everyone's anticipating this vaccine, which is a whole other thing, but
right. And more testing and all of that
lines up with the timeline. So I thought that was really, really interesting. And then he goes on to say, but the panic around it and the restrictions will go on until 2022.
Yeah.
But I just thought, listen, the end part kind of is we could probably predict that. But if he has proof that he predicted that in 2018, that's pretty cool.
That's
pretty,
really cool.
Spot on.
By any chance, did it say what sign he was?
No.
I'm
sure
interested
I can find
to
out.
See.
I'll get on Google and find out. But when I read all the things he claims to be, I was like, that's kind of cool.
That's really cool. I want to look into him. And you said he was 35?
Mm-hmm. And he lives in London.
The past life regression is really fascinating.
Okay, well, this is where people might laugh, but I thought it was funny. So, what did he, I wish I would have wrote it down. He said in his past life, I think he said he was an Egyptian queen and lioness or something.
So maybe he's a Leo. It sounds like he's a Leo.
I bet you. Oh my gosh, we have to look more into this. I bet you he totally is. But I don't know.
I went to one of those in, I just went to a psychic in Costa Mesa, on Newport Boulevard.
Oh, yeah?
And I went with my sister.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, by the way. It's right by that Crystal's place, right?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
She had no idea my sister was my sister, first of all. Not a great psychic. But she told me I was a Belgian pop star in like the 1920s. It's like, all right, whatever. It's not that exciting.
That's interesting, though. I want to know what I was. You know what I heard, too, about past life stuff is that you don't ever go backwards. So, like, you wouldn't go from this life to being, like, a dog. You always are constantly
the same being?
Like, upgrading.
Oh.
So you might start off as, like, a bird or a lioness, and then you become something, and you kind of upgrade each time.
That's interesting. Did you read that in this article?
No, it was something else.
Somewhere else? Wow. I never thought that. I thought you could
bounce around.
I'm borderline convinced my cat became Scarlet.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm not kidding. She died like exactly 6 months before Scarlet was born, and she would sit on my stomach and Scarlet would kick in my tummy, and she'd just sit there. And she was a Taurus, my cat, and she did not like anyone, anything but her food and me. And she loved sitting on my stomach. And Scarlet acts like a cat. Yeah. You know how obsessed she is with cats? Yeah. But she like walks like a cat when she gets in our bed in the morning. And she makes like little sounds. Anyway.
People, oh my God, I just realized I talked about my
child. I said her name.
Well, I said your daughter after you said it. You probably didn't hear me. But I was going to say, people that don't have kids are probably like, oh, wow.
Yeah, you just.
All right. So what... So let me just backtrack. All right. So this week we were talking about Cayley Mandadi. I don't want to give anything too much away because you can listen to the podcast when it comes out on Apple Podcast or wherever you listen, Stitcher, whatever. But I couldn't help but when we were talking. So it's basically a story of a girl who ends up in the hospital after a domestic violence situation. She's a young, beautiful girl. But I kept thinking about Lauren McCluskey this week. Mm-hmm. She was like on the top of my brain the whole time we were like researching this case a little bit. And then recently there was some news about Lauren in the news about how her family was awarded, when they were awarded a settlement or something had happened with the case. So it's like still ongoing, and I'll update it on the website or whatever. But it's just so sad to me how these young girls, I mean, they're in college or high school high school and college, and how they're getting wrapped
they were
up
both in college, and Cayley, I think, was 18, and just sweet, good girls. And everyone of her friends and family members just said how bubbly. You can see it in videos of Cayley, and same with Lauren, just these magnetic girls that had everything ahead of them, but a certain type of predator seems to find them. And these men who are, for whatever reason, they're on steroids, whatever, violent. We've got to find a way to better educate our daughters so that they see this coming, because it's hard. I mean, being that young, like you and I see the manipulation that occurred in this case, but being an 18-year-old, you can't think that way yet.
I was going to say, you're really good with like psychology side of things. So, if we're going to be talking to our daughters about this one day, what are things that what's that discussion? Like, what do you hope that they're putting out there in terms of like who they are and their personalities, and then also how to spot these predators?
I think one of the things that seems to work the best, it happened with Lauren McCluskey. I remember Melvin Rowland said he was going to kill himself, or spread a rumor that he had killed himself, and that really was the final thing that brought her in. And we see that again in this case this week. He says he's going to kill himself and sends her a picture of him, and she gets reeled in. So these are good people, good girls. And of course, I had a friend tell me I have cancer when I tried to cut her off, and I like got sucked back in because what are you going to do? You're
Right.
innocent. And so I think one of the first things is you don't ever allow somebody, if anybody says something big like I'm going to hurt myself, something like that, that is a big thing that is too big for somebody that is under 20. So you need, if you don't come to me, go to a therapist, tell
Go to a
somebody,
professional, yeah, to
tell
get
an authority,
right.
you know, that that's going on, because that seems to be a warning sign for violent things to come.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point. Instead of trying to be like, okay, well, if I just stay around and until he calms down and maybe things will, I can leave. And it's like, no. It's bigger than you at that point. And you definitely need to reach out to someone, like you say, of authority to kind of alleviate the situation or
Yeah,
help.
I think I know I always felt like, oh, I don't want to bother my parents. I don't want to disappoint my parents. So I'll just handle this all on my
Right.
own. So some sort of conversation about, it's weird. I think it's good to talk about your own past experience, but I guess it is child dependent, personality dependent, because I think saying like I did this, it was not smart, it was unsafe, and this is what
That didn't
happened.
work for me.
I guess it would have helped me as a child.
Did not
What'd you
work.
say?
So that stuff didn't work for me. I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to make my own mistakes.
There you
Leave me
go.
alone.
There you go. So I don't know. It's frightening. How do you instill these things in your daughters and sons? Because the girls also do this to
I was
boys.
just going to say, because there's, I think, also similar situations where girls, well, man, not to like label, but I feel like girls are a little bit more dramatic even and can say these things to keep a boyfriend, or we've seen in past where they, fake pregnancies or something like that. It's like, please do not handle this yourself. Like, come talk to, and it's so funny because I have a 13-year-old boy, and I'm already seeing where he's like not wanting to talk about certain things. I'm like, please just talk to me. Like, I promise. I'll promise I'll be cool. I'll be cool.
Yeah.
But like, on the inside, you are panicking a little bit when you know something because you've seen it or you've heard something that you're not supposed to know. And you're trying to like start a conversation about it, and they're not budging. And he's such a good kid. And I know he would always do the right thing as much as he could, but he would be that kid that would try and help someone.
Yes.
So
he would. Yeah, it's the good kids. It's the really good people that want to help. And those manipulators seek out those people. It's like a child molester knows to go after a shy child who's not going to speak. It's very similar. These people are predators.
Speaking of predators, I'm more aware than ever that with everyone being at home for the most part, because we're going into friggin' round 2, I feel like, where it's happening. And I've heard a lot of stories of kids with predators online because they are in full force right now, like more than ever, because they're online and all of our kids are online. And my son has an Instagram, but he does not go on it really ever because I'm scared to death. And like the TikToks and all the things. And I get it. Like, you don't want to shelter them. And like, I know TikTok has been, maybe an outlet for some kids right now because they're keeping them occupied with maybe if they're on the more innocent side of things, like learning the dances or whatever. But it's very scary. And I think parents need to be ultra aware of what's happening on our computers right now.
Yeah, I was thinking about that for my younger kids, just being out at parks, walking down the street, because I'm always very aware of my surroundings. And now everyone has their face covered.
Yep.
And it's interesting because we were just getting to that point where everyone was talking about facial recognition and you can't ever commit a crime and get away with it. And now people are wearing hoodies with a mask.
And you're not looking at them weirdly or otherwise because it's the norm right now.
Yeah. And I mean, if there's some child predator sitting at a park on a bench who somebody normally would know what he looked like, how do you know it's not a grandpa watching their kids? So it's that fine line of not being a crazy person and not leaving your house.
Right.
And just giving your kids and yourself the tools to know how to deal with these situations so that you don't become so crazy you can't leave your house.
Yeah. It's scary. I really want to buy a taser.
Yeah. I know, but I would tase myself. You know me.
That's literally why I won't do it, because I'll end up tasing myself.
Oh, I always like tase myself in the face.
Like no.
I mean, I just can't stop hurting myself.
Let's just go through the list. So Brittany has gotten a black eye, almost broke her nose, broke her teeth, and broke her fingers. Is there anything else I'm missing?
Did I even tell you that I got a concussion the day before I had the accident? I don't think I told you that.
No.
Because I didn't even have time to tell you. Because I was setting up this beautiful setup. And if we look up, there's a shelf right here. Everybody see this shelf?
Yeah.
It's like an iron shelf. So I was bending down, plugging in my microphone, and I stood up full force underneath it. And I played soccer for 15 years, and I've had over 14 concussions. And each one you get, it's easier to get it the next time. So every time I hit my head hard, I know it's coming. And so I just looked up and I was like, oh dear, thank goodness I didn't pass out or anything. But I just like laid down that whole day. And then the next day, put myself in the neck hammock and
that's when you got in a fight with the neck hammock.
So I'm done beating myself up. Like, that's it. I'm convinced that my body was taking the pain so that I didn't have to think about 2020 and I could just focus on my physical pain and not my emotional pain.
Maybe because things seem to be getting crazier and crazier by the day. Like, I don't understand how a curfew, for example, equals in people's brains buy all paper products, buy all toilet paper, buy all paper towels.
Like, I know. Are we gonna have diarrhea parties at home? Like, what is that? The alternative to the clubs?
Stan, we're so dumb. Like, okay, we have a curfew now. By the way, the curfew's from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. What are you doing at 10 p.m. anyway? Like, I'm in bed asleep. Like,
it's so dumb, and everything is just so confusing at this point. I said to my husband, they did a stay-at-home order. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, it's a stay-at-home order. It's mandatory from the 21st, whatever. And he's like, let me check this out. So he goes to his computer and he's like, wrong. You're all wrong. It's a curfew. It's from 10. That's what 2020 is.
Yeah.
This is happening. Yep. No, it's not. It's this. It's like, I was just listening to another podcast, I think Joe Rogan, and they were talking about masks. And remember, at first they were saying, wear masks. And then Fauci came out and said, don't wear masks, because he was afraid of everybody buying all of the medical supplies and medical people not having. But he still lied. So a doctor went up there and lied at the very beginning and expected us to just like swing with it and believe everything else he said. Like, this is not a political statement. This is nothing against.
Yeah, we are not getting into politics by any means.
No, this was just like an idea of saying, like, now don't wear them. That was it. Like the honesty. Nobody believed anything they heard after that, because it was, oh, I heard they do work. I don't. Now everyone says it about everything. It does. It did happen. It didn't happen.
There was like a month of like me, you, and a couple of other friends were all like calling or texting or Marco Polo. Like, what do I do? I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Where is their toilet paper? Where can I go get this? Oh my God.
It is. I mean, I walked into, where was I? At Target, I think, to grab something, and it's empty. I was like, are you guys out of your mind? Like, I wasn't even there to buy that, but I happened to walk by and just saw, what
was empty? The paper aisles?
Yeah. All empty.
Because I went to Target 2 days ago, and there was like a few left, but they had some sanitizing wipes. But I mean, are people building homes out of the sanitation? Like, what are you sanitizing? Like, I don't understand. Are people still wiping down every single thing that comes in their home?
Well, listen, if you're at home, you should be washing your flipping hands with soap and water, okay? Like, sanitizer does not have, like, I have a sanitizer by my front door in case people come in and need it or whatever, or like mails, whatever, like quick things that I need it for. But
like when you're stripping and people come in.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm rubbing it on my body for shine, like Ramona, or like, well, who did that?
Sonia
at the Spring Union. Anyway, but I don't know. And like, I have like a big bottle of my like Thieves sanitizer that I buy, or it's like a hand sanitizer. And then I fill up my little ones and I put them in the kids' backpacks or whatever. But like, we rarely use them. It's soap and water. Like, I don't understand how people are buying in bulk. I mean, they're bathing in it,
How are they using alcohol? Like in the beginning, I used a little bit. I rarely use alcohol to clean things. And my hands were breaking open. I was getting cuts. And then you get more crap in your cuts, and then you're more susceptible to infection.
It's so dumb. Like even in my like first aid kit, I only have alcohol wipes like in case, but we have a big bottle of like witch hazel. Like that's what I would
exactly. Like, that's what
I don't understand the alcohol and the. Let me just, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant. The Clorox wipes, guys, can we all do some research about what happens to your body on I don't even know how to explain it, but like you're taking, so you have good bacteria and you have bad bacteria. You need good bacteria. When you use Clorox wipes, all the bacteria is gone. So I don't know what people are doing.
I know. My pediatrician used to say, like, do not overly clean everything. Don't wipe everything down. Let your kid put dirt in their mouth. Like, you need immunities, or else people are going to walk outside and catch everything right away.
Oh, yeah. Crazy to me. I don't even know how we just got on with that topic, but
because we're so smart and we have all the answers. And if everyone would just listen to us, we would be over COVID. It's not controversial at all.
Whatever. People need to just have some common sense. Like, I don't get it. And to me, you know what, while we're kind of on this topic, let me ask you, not on a political level, not on a people are nuts level, but since we've been stuck at home so much, I'm going to pull a Bethany Frankel right now. What has been your rose and thorn of like this kind of year of being at home? But without politics. Because that is, I know that will get... But
oh yeah, no, I don't even think I would say that.
I just mean more of like your family life or your friend life or whatever.
The rose has been how much time I've been able to spend with my daughter. I mean, obviously I've spent a lot of time with both of them, but she's been in school longer and she's older, and it's just like, I don't know, it's reminiscent of when they were even smaller, and you just have so many amazing moments throughout the day. And I frequently think like, I wouldn't be getting this if she was at school. Like, I'm not saying, oh, it's better she's here, but I think that it would be wonderful if she was at school, but it's really precious. And I definitely will look back on this year and think like, we had some really fun memories and we did some really silly things as a family. And because we don't talk about COVID. We don't have the TV on. My kids very rarely even think about the virus.
Yeah.
So we've had a lot of fun. I mean, it's been hard, but we've had a lot of fun. And then Thorn, I think it's hard to... I'm a total introvert, but I didn't realize how much I need to see my friends.
Yeah.
And like touch my friends and hug my friends. And it really is important, I think, for human beings to have other human beings around and to be affectionate and to be tribal and all of that. And just having to be shut away from everyone feels, it can get lonely. And I think I'm just so worried, like you were saying, about like other kids that are not eating food right now, and there are people that are not going to get checked for their cancer follow-up scan and don't know that their cancer has come back. And I'm just like overwhelmed with all of the fallout, and that's kind of like where I try not to go, because it's a black hole.
It totally is. I know. That's
how about you?
I would say like my thorn's kind of similar. It's like I can't. It's like the devastation of everything is like really hard to read and to listen to. And I mean, we've been in contact a lot. And I think I have been like a roller coaster. You know, 1 minute I am completely out of my mind. I mean, I didn't go Clorox wipe out of my mind, but like out of my mind just with fear and stress. And it's not necessarily for me, but maybe my kids, but also like, if I'm sick for 2 weeks, that is a real situation in the household, right? So that's kind of been the thorn, is like the fear and the sadness and the devastation. But my rose is very similar. So I think a lot of people have come to find that I think the divorce rate is going to be real high soon, and you're already starting to see it. And I think this was a make it or break it moment. And I really think for our family, it was a make it moment. We came together, like not that we were in a bad place or anything like that, but you come to realize how much you love each other and you don't mind being around each other that much. And like, do you drive each other crazy? Of course. Do my kids make me bonkers? Of course. But like you say, like having them close and like, you know, my husband being home more, well, not right now, he's working a ton, but at the time when we were at home.
He's such a workaholic. The amount of time he was home was like amazing.
Yeah, it was really nice. So, I mean, I was happy, I guess, to realize and to know that like we're cool, stuck together if it comes back to that. So I think that was kind of like a nice.
That's such an important point, and I didn't think about that. I mean, even look at pop culture, how many celebrities that have divorced, and they have 7 homes and all kinds of ways to get away from each other. That's a really good point. I guess I'm just used to it because my husband works from home, so we're stuck together all the time. But I've thought about that because I've complained about that for years and years and years. But now I'm like, all these women are like, God, my husband, I wish he would just get out of the house. I'm like, oh, so maybe it's not so hard.
Yeah, I know, totally. And so it was kind of like a nice realization, I think, because when you've married 10 years, or, you know, it's like, it can be marriage is like this. So, and if you say it's not, then you're lying. So
yes,
there's that.
Exactly. One of my friend's moms said to me once at a baby shower, I think I had just gotten married, and she's like, oh, marriage, right when it gets good and you think everything's going well, boom, something comes and it just gets real shitty again. I love her. She's a Virgo, and it was the best advice ever because every time it's been really bad, I'm like, it's gonna get good again.
I wish I would have had that advice when I had a newborn because I think most women sit there as they're nursing or feeding their baby at 2 a.m. like plotting divorce.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I wish somebody would have told me that. So, but I did. I have to say, not that we're going off on like a pregnancy baby talk, but women, the more you're honest with each other about those situations, the more you're helping another woman. Like if we could all just be supportive, and I feel like there was so much no one told me about having a baby and marriage and all this stuff. And it's like if someone would have just kind of pulled me inside and said, "Listen, this is what's kind of coming up." You're like, okay, at least I'm prepared because I do well with having the information and I need to just like know what's coming.
Absolutely. And those are my people. Anytime I find somebody that's like, this is like the hardest thing I've ever done, or just like totally real, I'm like, you're my friend, because I just can't handle the whitewashing. Everything's so easy, and we've had so many we've made art projects together, and look, we painted the whole house.
The Pinterest moms.
Yeah, I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Yep.
It's hard. And I like the moms that will call you on the ground, like, why did I do this? Come bring me a bottle of wine.
Seriously.
Because that's what it's really, truly like, regardless of whether or not those people want to show it to you.
Yeah. I just wish people would be more transparent in general, I guess. It's like, I don't know. You build better friendships and connections with people when there's transparency and not like the front of, you know, everything's fine. Perfect and whatever.
So it's the 2 girls that currently have the fix my appearance on during ours.
Well, okay. Listen, it's like lightly airbrushed. Like I still look like
I just rolled out of bed and done a makeup on. So I needed to have my appearance fixed. It's not as if I have lashes on.
No, I don't. Although every time I'm at the store, I look at lashes and I'm like, I wish I could wear you. I wish I was that girl.
You can. It's easy for you.
I cannot put them on to save my life. Or I'll be like this. They're like so heavy and I can't wear them. But I love them.
They are heavy. Those housewives, it's hard work what they do.
Okay, speaking of TV, going back to like true crime really quick, have you started on HBO the Middle Beach.
Murder on Middle Beach.
Oh my gosh. I wasn't expecting. Okay, I was kind of dragging my heels.
Me too.
To watch it because I was like, I don't know. This does not look great.
Same.
And then I was like,
exactly. If you felt that way, if you saw the trailer like we did and thought, No, trust
It's
me.
really good.
It immediately sucks you in. I have to find out what happened. The son, I mean, it's hard for me to watch true crime things when there are young children involved. And this child was young, but now he's grown. And that makes it a little bit easier for me because he is just he's so amazing. And the way that he's processing all of this is
It's very
quite astounding.
interesting to have a family member be the one running the documentary and in charge of getting the interviews. And I almost wonder if people are more willing to talk to him because he is the son, versus like a police officer or like a random producer or something.
I know. That's a good question.
But it is, I was completely sucked in. And then when there's like a scene where he's like kind of undercover with like a wire on talking to his dad. Oh my God. It's good. It's really
stressful.
Good. Yes,
It's
I was like
really
sweating.
stressful and like, oh my goodness gracious. And yeah, that is true because I think that some people I think some people feel guilty and that's why they will talk to him. And then once they start talking to him, they're like, oh shit, I shouldn't be talking to you because there's secrets in this whole town.
I mean, all I can think of is those memes that it's like the husband did it. But
I know.
I don't know. Maybe there's more to it, but like my first initial thoughts.
Yeah. There's something fishy going on for sure.
It's a very interesting story.
Yes.
What else have I been watching? I'm trying.
Oh, The Real Murders of Orange County is amazing. You don't like it?
I don't like it. I feel like I know 90% of the stories.
Yeah.
Heard it, done it. Like the one, I mean, which is so sad. We are talking about real people. Like I get that. And if you're a true crime buff, I think you understand what I mean by this. But like, there was one case, the couple on the boat. Like I think I've heard that story 7 ways a Sunday. Like I can't, I didn't even watch it. I was like, I can't. And there was like one episode that I'd never heard of, but I don't know if I don't get sucked in, then I'm like, my ADD brain is somewhere else. Like I don't even.
So what are you watching? What were you just going to say?
Oh no, it's totally going off topic. I think I want to know if people care to, because I'm feeling like we might need to do an episode on Daybell and Valos.
Really?
Because I was reading some things, and first of all, did you know that neither one of them is being charged with murders?
Really? They've already been indicted? What were they charged with?
It's like, I think I wrote it down. It's like all about like conspiracy or like destruction or like hiding evidence, or it's none about.
So the brother must have done it.
Well, I don't know. And then the judge recently said they are having a joint trial to save money. It's too costly for them to have two separate trials. So her and her husband are having a trial together. They're going to get off. I'm telling you.
This is in Idaho? Like where it happened?
I don't know where they're being. I would imagine, but I don't know for sure where they're being.
Wow. We need to do, I didn't know this.
So it is becoming a spider web, and I think we need to cover it.
Yeah.
And did you know that they've dubbed her the cult mom?
No, I did not.
Some of these names. Cult mom.
Oh, these Mormons, my goodness.
So
wow.
I think, I mean, if people are sick of it, maybe, I don't know, but I don't feel like it's been too much. I think people maybe don't know enough about it. So
yeah, because it was during all of this, COVID kind of took over the news, and that's why I haven't been focusing on it. Wow.
So Lori Vallows and Chad Daybell podcast episode coming soon.
For sure.
There's other things, and I'm not going to say them here, so we can save it for the podcast. But
okay.
Oh my God. I was like this morning trying to look at like updates on them.
Awesome.
Oh, so yeah. So anything else that you like see? Oh, can we talk about this girl? And okay, I don't want this to become like a political conversation by any means, but Brooke Skylar Richardson. Do you know who that is? She is the very pretty blonde girl who was acquitted of murdering her newborn.
Yes.
But then was put on 3 years probation and then just got out early.
Yes.
So the story is she had a boyfriend. Her mom took her to the OBGYN to get on birth control. And then in the private meeting, she was told she was 8 months pregnant. She didn't tell anybody. And she birthed her baby at home. She claimed it was stillbirth and buried her child. And there were signs of, sounds terrible. There were signs of putting the infant on fire.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm sorry. It's not easy to say that. Then she was acquitted. But in her interview, she said maybe there was a gurgling sound when she had the baby. So acquitted of murder. And my only thought when I'm looking at this girl is, this is white fucking privilege.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, but like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? And I don't want to go into the but I'm shooketh that someone who could do something like that was not held more responsible.
Oh, you best believe if she was black or brown, she'd be in prison for life and on the cover of every newspaper. Wow. Is there any way that they can tell whether or not the baby actually was dead before it was buried?
I think that's why she was acquitted, because they couldn't say for certain. And it was only her testimony that I think she probably later took back, saying that she thought she heard a gurgle. Oh, this is what happened. The police interviewer, and this is where I get annoyed with police too. He said, "Did you maybe hear a gurgling sound?" And
Jesus Christ.
He what's the term?
He fed her the information.
And then she said she repeated it.
Another thing that would never happen with a black or brown girl.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. That is infuriating.
And she admitted to trying to cremate her child.
Wow.
But it all came down to, I think, not being able to prove that the baby wasn't a stillborn. So she got what she got convicted of was abuse of a corpse.
Oh my God. So they're actually taking her word that it was a stillborn.
Uh-huh. So she got 3 years probation. And then she got released early. And the grandmother of the baby was I guess in tears, how dare you? She didn't even have to go to jail. You gave her time served for 6 days or whatever. She was in jail. And
how old was she? She was in high school.
I think she was in high school because it was after a dance. I think it was after prom or something, which is why has this happened more than once?
I'm very sensitive. I'm very pro-choice, and I'm very sensitive to how a pregnancy must be just completely all-encompassing, terrifying, all of that. But in 2020, you can find a clinic, you can find a doctor. Going that route is not. It's such a touchy subject.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't want to get into too much. But I was shocked to see that she had been released early, and her case really it upsets me to see and hear that. And I feel a lot of it has to do with who she is.
Absolutely, because there are thousands upon thousands of black men in prison for 50 plus years for marijuana.
Oh my God, that shit is so dumb.
The fact that they are not just clawing the walls, it makes me mad on a daily basis. Yeah. How many black men and minorities are in prison for the most ridiculous things that are legal now. Yeah. You have a visitor.
Yeah, my son just walked in. What are you doing?
He wants to be on the show. He's a Libra. He is going to be famous.
Oh, I'm sure he will be.
Yes, 100%.
Love you.
He's so cute. What did he do? What was he getting?
He's getting a skateboard because I put them in the front yard to grab a skateboard and a scooter for grandma to grab for them. And apparently I grabbed the wrong skateboard because he couldn't get a different skateboard.
How dare you? Was he looking at you terrified because you're going to scream at him?
He's like, what? What are you doing?
Can I get in there? Oh, is this for me? Is this a show for me? He's so
Oh
cute.
my God. He is so funny. He's so funny.
Mom life, it's bound to happen, YouTube. Get used to it.
Kids, dogs, it's all going to be interrupted.
Husbands. My husband might walk by naked, but he's like, Sky will be like, what? What is this? You need me to dance?
Do you want me to do something in there for you?
Why does Jenna have my stuff on her chest? Why did you give her my stripper oil?
Oh my God, my stripper oil.
I need some of that thieves. I need that thieves chest rub. I'm jealous.
Good. I know. It makes you just breathe. Anyway, so I think that's it, right? Yeah. I'm glad that we're doing Cayley's case this week and kind of shining some light on it. You know, I just want to protect our kids, man, and like help them have some awareness of, you know, I think about when we were young, and granted it was a different time. I mean, not that we're ancient, but because of, you know, the internet and social media and all those things. But I just can't believe some of the stuff that I did. And I was a good kid. Like I was a good kid and I made some real dumb decisions. So I just, you know, I hope that we can do better. Our kids will do better and we can teach everyone to be more, I don't know, to be more aware, I guess, of who they're dealing with.
Yes. And I think covering this case will help people out there to feel more aware, hopefully.
Yeah. And if you have any interest, Laura McCluskey was in our first season. I'm not remembering which episode it was. I think 3 or 4. But go back and check it out and give it a listen because it's a pretty heartbreaking case also. And
good for her
literally
parents.
Ongoing. So
you can Google her parents. They're doing amazing things. They're trying to put laws in place and change college campuses. So this is not so easy this doesn't happen so easily in the future.
Yeah. And I'm really, I find such pride in these parents that do turn tragedies into something better for the society or, you know, anyways.
They're amazing. They're angels on earth. I don't know how parents go through that.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Heavy, sorry.
Yeah, I know. On that note, back to the chest rub. We'll end on chest rub. Oh, you put trust your gut. I just noticed.
You didn't see that?
So cute.
It was there last time too.
All right. Well, this was fun. I hope everyone's enjoying our YouTube, and we will be back soon with some more ADD sidebars.
And look forward to doing the Valis Day Bells because let me tell you, it is crazy.
Ooh, exciting. Coming soon.
Okay.
Bye.